Yes, what's happening, people? Wow, what an ending. Arsenal 1, Brentford nil, or should I say Brentford nil, Arsenal 1. And boy, did we leave it late. Let's break this down. There's a lot to talk about in this game, actually, believe it or not. For a game that was a little bit of a snore fest, let's be real, a little bit of a boring game in parts, it had a lot of talking points. And I just feel relief. I feel so much relief. I didn't think it was going to happen. I thought this game had 0-0 written all over it. In fact, I thought if any of the teams were going to win, it might have been one of those games where Brentford got away with it. And to be fair to them, I thought they defended well. They defended just how I thought they would. And it was a game where I thought they would come with a low block, and that's exactly what they did. My worry and concerns, which I'll go into it a bit more, is how Arsenal just keep knocking on the door and don't try and find other ways to break them down. Now, we got there in the end, but we're not going to get there in the end in every single game playing like that. We need to make sure that when we come to these games that are going to be low block, very, very defensive minded, 5 at the back, that we either change up our style a bit or we actually take a little bit more chances. And that's where I'm going to come on to the latter. Let's talk first of all about the team news, because for me, the team news was actually really interesting. I expected to see Kai Havertz, who we'll come on to in a minute, but playing Trossard there straight away, I actually started to see a lot more of what he offers, because he is a player on the ball. He's not a player who links up. He's not a player who flicks it on, who heads it on, who passes nicely. He actually does work hard, and he on the ball. In the first half, particularly, you could really see why he was started. Second half, I think he dropped off a little bit, if I'm honest, Trossard. I don't think anybody had an amazing game in that front line today. I really don't. I don't think there was anything that came off for us. I think there was a lot of possession football with no real chance to break them down. And I think that was what was probably the most frustrating thing for Arsenal for a lot of that. Ben White on the bench, we hear that he's not been 100% fit, and Tomiyasu come in, and I was fine with that. So actually, when I look at it, with Ben White on the bench and not being injured, we've only really got Thomas Partey and Timber that are out at the moment. So we've got a lot of our players back now, and it's good to see. It really is. Fabio Vieira not on the bench today. I guess he wasn't included. I don't think he's injured. He's obviously preferred Nelson over Fabio Vieira. So we've got a lot of players back now, still Partey and Timber to come back into the mix. But El Neni and Vieira, I think, were the two that missed out today, unless El Neni was on the bench. But listen, we are top of the league. And that, for me, is all that matters. 3 points, top of the league. It was pivotal. It was vital to win today and take 3 points. And I think when you look at what Arsenal have done so far, 13 games in now, is it? We're top of the league, and we haven't really got going. We haven't really played that well. We haven't been convincing in many games. Again, today, not convincing, but we'll take it. Sorry, I'm being stupid. Somebody in the chat's just told me that Fabio Vieira was suspended. The international break made me forget. Of course, he is suspended, so that was why he was not on the bench today. Listen, let's break it down. We started the game, I thought, fairly Arsenal-ish this season. We kept most of the ball. We had a lot of possession. And then the nerves kicked in. With who? You guessed it, Aaron Ramsdale. And I had Matty Clerkin, who you all know from this channel was the Brentford fan, text me this morning and say, Ramsdale clanger today, question mark. And wow, he nearly got what he wanted. He thought Aaron Ramsdale was going to have a stinker. And to be fair to Aaron Ramsdale, apart from the throw-in, which he got completely wrong, he threw it out, it just bounced on the floor, he got it completely wrong. I think he changed his mind or got caught in two minds, and it went wrong. And of course, just taking way too long to kick the ball out, and Vissa nearly scoring, and then Mbeumo actually taking the shot for Declan Rice to clear it off the line. Other than those two moments, I thought Ramsdale was fine. He come and collected every single cross like we wanted. I thought his kicking was good. I thought his passing was good out from the back. I thought that he pretty much commanded most crosses that came into his area. And really, there was only a couple of shots they had that went wide. I think one from Mbeumo, and that was about it. So I can't sit there and say Ramsdale had a stinker today. And a lot of people are pointing the finger on that manager at this, and I've got to agree. The manager has made him a lot nervous. That's not mistakes from a poor goalkeeper. That's mistakes from a very, very good goalkeeper that's making mistakes through nerves and through lack of confidence. And I think that has definitely been the fault of Mikel Arteta and just how Aaron Ramsdale has been felt. I was really pleased that we got a clean sheet today for him. And he came off the pitch smiling. You know, his dad has said that he's lost his smile a bit. I saw the smile around Ramsdale today when he come off of the pitch. And what I loved even more about that was the fact that when he was making those saves and when he collected the ball right at the end, those players went straight up to him and congratulated him. And that is what we were about. That is what we're about as a team in a dressing room now. You can see the togetherness, and you can see that that is where we want to be going. But for me, yeah, Mikel Arteta has left a bit of a nasty taste in a lot of people's mouths about what's happened with Aaron Ramsdale. And I thought that he played really well today at the end, but to start, shaky, very, very shaky. Hopefully he's brushed the cobwebs off now, and then we can see when he next comes in, which I imagine will be for the cup games. He keeps more clean sheets, because that's 2 clean sheets we've kept at the same ground now when Aaron Ramsdale has played, one in the cup and one in the league. Very, very tough place to go. I have a lot of respect for Brentford, and I have even more respect for Thomas Frank. They're doing this without Ivan Toney. They're making it very difficult to go there. Nobody wants to go there and play football because it's a difficult place to pick up 3 points. And that's exactly what Arsenal have done today. Let me move on to my next positive, Declan Rice. Declan Rice's performance today was not just fantastic, but he has taken us to a new level, particularly away from home. He's given us that steel. He's given us that defensive attribute that we need in midfield. He's given us that physical presence. He's given us a kind of leadership quality away from home that I think we were lacking probably in the last decade. I don't think I've seen a bad performance from Declan Rice in an Arsenal shirt, but I don't think I've seen a performance where I felt like he wasn't there today, or he wasn't really turned up today. He was all right today. He's been 7, 8, 9, 10s out of 10 every single game in the 13 league games and in the Champions League games that we've seen him play. I think this signing, when we finish the season, will be the best one of the summer. I know a lot of people are talking about Szoboszlai, James Maddison, Van der Ven. We can talk about how great they've been. But I really believe that when we look back at this season, whether Arsenal win something or not, you'll look at that signing and think, yeah, Arsenal would not be where they are right now, whether that be with a title, whether that be runners up, whether that be, with a Champions League in their arms, without Declan Rice, because I just think this guy for £105 million is good money spent. And, I was winding Lawless up saying it's a bargain. He's worth 200 million. Of course, that's a little tongue in cheek, sorry. But I kind of am glad that we spent that money on him to get him, because I really wanted him and we needed him. And I honestly believe that this guy will be remembered as an Arsenal legend, not a West Ham one. So I think we're now in a position where we can start to talk about consistency with Declan Rice, because it's a big money signing. There's pressure on his shoulders. People talk about the pressure on some of the other players in the dressing room. He probably had the most pressure on him before a ball was kicked. £105 million, 24-year-old, not played any Champions League football, not played for a huge club. That was huge pressure, and he's delivered. And again, I thought he was amazing, absolutely amazing today. The other player I thought was good. Again, I've got to pick up these 2 players again, Gabriel and Saliba. Another clean sheet. I thought both of them today were immense in everything that they needed to do. Saliba looked so composed and calm and comfortable. And although Mbeumo and Vissa and Godos was his name, were trying to cause some problems, I thought Saliba and Gabriel swept up pretty well. I thought Declan Rice and Zinchenko's block off the line is definitely going to be not talked about as much because of the win, but they had to happen for us to take 3 points today. Obviously Aaron Ramsdale made that mistake. Declan Rice come into the mix and cleared it from the line. And then we had a similar situation with Zinchenko, who I think was probably maybe at fault to start with, but then got back and defended well and cleared it off the lines also. So we can't forget that. We can't forget that Brentford had their chances. But for me, it was all about taking 3 points today, and that's what we managed to do. I felt we were lacking today because Saka and Martinelli were teamed up on yet again. They're basically sending 2 men out there. What Arsenal have got to try and do better is when they've got them 2 men out there, somewhere on that pitch there's an extra man, and we've got to try and find it and try and capitalise on that. And I don't think Ødegaard was quite at the races again today. I know it's his first game back. Jesus likewise. Trossard disappeared in the second half. Saka and Martinelli, again, not amazing. But you know what Saka does? He delivers. Saka's not really had a great season, I keep hearing. That's another assist today. The stats are absolutely mad. And the goal that we did score, which we'll come on to next, that was offside, he kind of created it. So when I saw that goal go in, I was celebrating. And then I looked at it and I thought, they're going to go VAR, but I think Trossard is actually okay. But they're saying he's in front of Jesus. If you look at it at that angle, yeah, he looks like he just about is with his front foot. But if you spin it round and the camera goes back the other way, it doesn't look like he is. So again, the angle is just crazy. These angles, these lines, this technology, I just don't think it's up to speed to be making those decisions absolute final. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he was offside. It doesn't matter in the end. But I'd like to see it again at an angle that I believe would be more fair, because that one that they showed was not fair. Halftime comes, 25 minutes or so of Arsenal playing football, which I thought was pretty dead. 25, 30 minutes of Brentford playing football that was thought was pretty dead, and the game was flat. The Arsenal away fans today were fantastic at the end, but during the game, I thought they were drowned out, if I'm honest. All I could hear was people slagging off Raya and Ramsdale in terms of Brentford fans. And then we really heard the Arsenal fans at the end. We needed something today. And I've been crying out for weeks upon end for Kai Havertz to be brought on in the last 20 minutes and used as more of an Olivier Giroud type player. And that's exactly what we saw today. Finally, he didn't start. Trossard playing in there, I was actually a fan of. I'd like to see it again. I particularly like to see it at home. But Kai Havertz come on. Saka delivers. And Kai Havertz scores again. We can now finally sing that song, and boy, did the away fans sing it. What I loved about it was the fans staying at the end, singing his name, but more importantly, Arteta dragging Kai Havertz over to actually get the applause that's needed. Likewise, Aaron Ramsdale and the rest of the team. It was good to see, man. It was a togetherness. And I was a big fan of it, I have to say. A big fan. I do think sometimes we look at a situation like Kai Havertz and we try to look at a positive, and sometimes there isn't a positive there. The only thing I could cling on to was to try and utilize him as more of an Olivier Giroud type player, where he comes on, gives us a different dimension, is that threat in the box, he's that target man, he can make a nuisance of himself, he can chest it down, head it on, flick it on in that area, not in the middle of the pitch, not as a number 8. And I know that he did kind of come on in those positions, and Eddie Nketiah was our centre forward, but he made a nuisance of himself enough in the right area of the field. I don't want him doing that on the centre circle. I want him heading into the box, down at the goal, flicking it on, chesting it down to the striker. That's where Kai Havertz can be effective for me, if anything at all. Now, this isn't now, oh, everyone's now stumped because they've questioned him and this guy's going to now take it to another level. But we can't sit there and go, he scored, but I still hate him. I still think he's rubbish. Because actually, you've just got to give the guy credit when he scores. He's come on and done his job. Mikel Arteta's got his spot on. He's brought him on. It's been 10 minutes to go? And he scored. He's won us the game. Everybody, zip it. Let's move on to the next one. We needed to win that game today, guys. With Manchester City and Liverpool drawing, it's the perfect weekend for us. We've got Manchester City and Liverpool that are dropping points. We could have Tottenham dropping points tomorrow. We could have Man United, let's say, dropping points. I think Everton. That just keeps all of our rivals just away from us. And you know what? Even if they're not with us, Chelsea, they're not with us. They got pumped today. Still a good weekend, isn't it? When Chelsea lose, it's funny. It doesn't mean, oh, Chelsea have lost, right? That's them away from us. They're miles away. They're down in 10th, 11th, right? But it's still nice because we hate them. And that's why I think this weekend will be a great one now. We can sit there tomorrow. We can put our feet up. We can enjoy our roast dinner. We can watch Villa and Spurs and hope that Villa embarrass them. We can see what Everton can do after their 10 points deduction and see if they can get any revenge or any reaction against Manchester United. It'd be brilliant. It'd be brilliant to see. So it'll be a good weekend for the Arsenal. I'm really happy. And let's be real. We're top of the league, people. We are top of the league. And we haven't even got started yet. Some are saying we haven't got started, we haven't played well. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I've not been convinced by Arsenal's performances. But if we're not actually that happy yet and we're top of the league, what does that say? I was told Man City were going to be clear. I was told Liverpool were going to be ahead of Arsenal all the way. That's not happened in 13 games. So that's not me getting cocky, because I think you all know me well enough to know that I'm not one of those guys. But actually, when you look at it, let's be real. We're top of the league and nobody thinks we're good. So what does that make everybody else? Big up to everybody in the chat, man. Big up to Guna87. Big up to Guna Lima, bro. Hope you enjoyed the watch along. Hope you enjoyed AFTV today, my brother. It's going to be an interesting one when we speak to some of our friends, won't it, mate, that are speaking to the other. But my WhatsApp, Lee, is absolutely silent today. In the Race for Europe chat, in my Football's 12th Man chat, nobody wants to talk. The only people that are piping up is Pete, because obviously he's Newcastle and he's happy. Everybody else, oh, Havertz, we don't like him still. Ramsdale, we wanted him to mess up. Yeah. Do you know what? Fair play. I'm happy. I'm absolutely buzzing. And all you should be as well, man. I'm glad that you all are happy. I'm glad you're all buzzing, because that for me was a win that absolutely had to happen. Was the performance good? Not really. Was it good against Crystal Palace? Was it good against Forest? Was it good against who else have we nicked wins off of? Probably been what, out of the 13 games, maybe 8 that we've nicked. Sometimes you've just got to do that. And what makes me laugh even more, and I'll end on this, people don't want to play Ancelotti or Simeone football. We're playing it right now. We ain't creating loads. We ain't free-flowing. We ain't Pep Guardiola style. We're winning 2-1 and 1-0. And people are happy. So just remember, sometimes it's about 3 points, not about the pretty football. Sometimes it's about just win. And that's what Arsenal need to do this season. Just win. Top of the league. We're happy. We're out. Take it easy, people. Peace.